whatever they had awakened in that mansion, it was coming back. Every President's Day, the town of Ashcroft held a simple tradition, a 24-hour broadcast on the local station, WXR7, airing old presidential speeches, historical documentaries, and special interviews. It wasn't much, but it was tradition, something families played in the background while enjoying the holiday. But in 1995, something changed. That year, the broadcast aired as usual. Families tuned in, expecting the familiar montage of speeches and patriotic music. Instead, at exactly 11:47 p.m., the screen cut to static. For exactly 7 minutes, the station played something that wasn't scheduled, something that shouldn't exist, a presidential address that no one could recognize. The video showed a grainy, black and white image of a man sitting at the Oval Office desk. The setting was familiar, but the president was not. He was tall and gaunt, his face thin, sunken, and almost stretched. His suit was slightly wrong, too old-fashioned for the era, like a mix of different timelines. His eyes were hollow black voids. His lips moved, but the words didn't match the movement. Then came the speech. His voice was flat, cold, unnatural. My fellow Americans, the time has come to remember me. They erased me from history, but I am still here. You have forgotten my name, but I will return. The world will kneel before its true leader again. Then, the broadcast cut back to normal. No one knew what they had just seen. The network had no record of the footage, and when they replayed the tape, the speech was gone. The station dismissed it as a glitch, an error, until the next year, on President's Day, 1996, at exactly 11:47 p.m., it happened again. Same man, same speech, but this time he said something different. Some of you remember now. They cannot stop me. If you speak my name, I will return. People were disturbed. Historians scoured records, trying to match his face to any past president. But there was nothing, no evidence he had ever existed. Then people started dreaming about him. Nightmares of a tall man in a tattered presidential suit standing at the foot of their beds. Whispers in the dark, "Say my name, and I will return." By 1999, the town had changed. Several residents had disappeared, including the station's lead technician, the mayor's assistant, and a local historian who had been investigating the footage. Their homes were left untouched, except for their televisions. Every single missing person's TV was stuck on static. A police officer investigating one of the cases made the mistake of turning up the volume, and he heard it, the voice. "They are mine now." By 2001, the station shut down entirely. The town refused to celebrate President's Day anymore, but that hasn't stopped the broadcast. Every year, on February 19th, at exactly 11:47 p.m., anyone who turns on a television might catch it, just for a second. A glimpse of the man, sitting at his desk, waiting. And if you listen closely enough, you might hear his whisper, "Say my name, and I will return." But no one knows his name, and no one wants to. There's a house in Virginia, one that doesn't appear on maps. No records, no history, no official address. And yet every President's Day someone finds it. Not on purpose, never on purpose. It's always the same story. A traveler, a lost driver, a group of hikers. Someone takes a wrong turn, a detour, a forgotten road. The trees grow denser, The air thickens, and then there it is, the house, an old colonial mansion, pristine yet abandoned. The paint never peels, the windows never break, and the front door is always unlocked. People who find it never leave the same. February 19th, 1987. The journalist Mark Fisher was a reporter for the Richmond Chronicle, known for chasing ghost stories. When he heard a rumor about an invisible house that only appeared on President's Day, he laughed it off until he found it. Driving home late that night, his radio flickered, static swallowing the music. Then the road changed. One moment he was on the highway, the next he was somewhere else. The asphalt ended, dirt and gravel replaced it. Trees lined both sides, towering over him like silent watchers. Then the headlights illuminated a house that wasn't supposed to be there. Mark, always the skeptic, grabbed his camera and stepped inside. The air was warm, too warm for February. The smell of old wood and faint cigar smoke lingered in the halls. The interior was frozen in time. Antique furniture, candles still burning, a dinner table set for 13 guests. Plates of food sat untouched as if the meal had been abandoned mid-bite. Then he heard the whispering. It started soft, like wind sneaking through cracks in the walls. Then the voices grew clearer. He's watching. He knows you're here. Mark turned a corner and saw a portrait on the wall. A man in an old presidential suit, his face blurred. No plaque, no name, just a shifting, unrecognizable face. Then the clock chimed midnight, and the meal at the table began to rot. Meat blackened, vegetables withered, wine turned to thick, oozing blood. The candles died at once, and then the front door slammed shut. Mark ran. He sprinted down the hall, heart hammering. But the house had changed. The door was gone. Windows were bricked over. The wallpaper peeled as he passed, revealing something underneath. Not wood, not stone, but skin. The walls were made of flesh, and they were breathing. Then, footsteps. He turned, and the man from the portrait was standing there, his face still blurred, shifting like static, like something unfinished. His suit was tattered, covered in old stains, and in his hands he held a presidential sash, soaked in blood. Mark screamed as the lights went out. He was found 3 days later, wandering the highway miles away, his camera empty, his notes torn to shreds. The only thing he could say before he was institutionalized was, "He's the president that never was." Well now, this video is a much better improvement from the prior video to this one. Nice and lengthy as I want it for these holiday videos. Now coming up next will be some regular ones, and then maybe a St. Patrick's Day horror story video as well. Only time will tell for what's to come. And as an update, I'm about done working out the kinks for new software I want to try out. So if a video or two seems off in a way, then you know that's me trying out new things to make the videos going forward more engaging. Also, by the time of this video's release, I have now 89 subscribers. Hot tamales. That's amazing how we're growing as a community, even if most of you are just here for the shorts, which is fine. But no worries. Anyway, With that being said, thank you very much for subscribing, liking the video, and sharing when you can. I look forward to when we hit 100 pretty soon, and with that, I have a special video planned out for that as we reach these milestones. Now, before I go, say it with me, folks. We're always watching.